When I started looking for the fastest animal on Earth, I thought the answer would be obvious: a cheetah. A falcon, maybe some kind of fish or bat. But then I realized the question was wrong. Because the fastest animal is not always the one that runs or flies the fastest. Sometimes the real speed record lasts less than a blink. Sometimes the whole animal does not even move, only a jaw, a leg, or a tiny mechanism under the body that works like a catapult. The strangest part, many of these record holders are so small you could hold them on your fingertip. But in slow motion, they do things that look almost impossible. One jumps with acceleration the human body would never survive. Another strikes so fast that the water around it explodes, and one tiny ant launches its jaws from 0 to 200 miles per hour before you even understand what happened. In this video, we are looking at 15 animals with the most insane speeds in nature, and the animal in first place looks so ordinary that if you saw it in real life, you would never realize you were looking at one of the fastest mechanisms on Earth. We begin with a creature that looks almost like a toy: mantis shrimp. The mantis shrimp looks like a bright little creature made for an aquarium, but its real talent is the strike. Its fist shoots forward at up to 80 kilometers per hour, and it does this underwater, where every movement has to fight resistance. The strike is so fast that the water around it starts to cavitate. Tiny bubbles form, collapse, and create a second shockwave. So it hits its target twice, first with its limb, then with the water itself. It can crack shells, smash armor, and even break aquarium glass. But next comes an animal that looks like the complete opposite of speed: chameleon. A chameleon moves so slowly it feels like every step needs separate permission. But its speed is not hidden in its legs. It is hidden in its mouth. Some chameleons shoot out their tongue with acceleration up to 264 G, and the tongue can reach an insect in about 20 milliseconds. One moment, the prey is sitting on a branch, and suddenly it is gone. This is one of nature's best tricks. The whole animal can be slow, while one body part works like a weapon. And the next record holder has an even stranger problem. It moves faster than it can see. Tiger beetle. The tiger beetle does not look like a record holder. It is a small predator most people would simply miss. But some tiger beetles can cover around 120 body lengths per second. For a human, that would be like running at a speed that feels more like science fiction than sport. The problem is that at full speed, the beetle temporarily loses clear vision. The world turns into a blur. So it hunts in bursts. Sprint, stop, get the picture back, sprint again. And now that we have seen speed that breaks vision, it is time to look up at the most famous record holder in the sky: peregrine falcon. The peregrine falcon is often called the fastest animal on Earth. And in one sense, that is true. In a dive, it can exceed 200 miles per hour. In that moment, it becomes more than a bird. It becomes a living arrow. Wings tucked in, body stretched out, drag reduced to almost nothing. For its prey, it is almost unfair. Empty sky above, and a second later, impact. But the falcon has one condition: it needs height and a fall. The next animal does not need height or a long run-up. It only needs a fraction of a second. Snake strike. A snake does not need to be faster than you over a long distance. It only needs one moment. Human reaction time is often around 200 milliseconds, and a snake strike can happen in just a fraction of that. The body works like a spring, the head shoots forward, and the prey often reacts only after contact has already happened. This is not racing speed. This is decision speed. Before the brain even says move, the attack may already be over. But next we enter a different world. Animals that do not just move fast. They store energy inside their bodies and release it like a mechanism. Flea. A flea seems like nothing more than an annoying little dot you want to brush away. But if you look at it as a mechanism, it becomes much more interesting. Some fleas can jump about 18 centimeters upward and more than 30 centimeters forward. To us, that is tiny, but relative to its body, it is like a human jumping over a multi-story building in one leap. A flea does not simply jump, it launches itself. Its body stores energy, holds it, and then releases it in one short moment, and the flea disappears. But now, for a second, we return to a kind of speed every viewer understands: greyhound. The greyhound is not here because it is the ultimate record holder. It is here as the boundary between speed we understand and speed that gets strange. It can reach around 45 miles per hour. Long legs, a narrow body, a deep chest, a flexible back. Everything about it is built for a burst. When a greyhound takes off, it looks like a living arrow. But this is speed we understand: legs, muscles, distance. After this, speed becomes strange again, and it comes from the dark. Mexican free-tailed bat. A bat does not look like a record-breaking animal. We imagine night, skies, chaotic turns, and thin wings. But the Mexican free-tailed bat can reach around 160 kilometers per hour. And the key detail is this: it is not falling, and it is not diving. This is horizontal flight. A small animal moves through the dark almost like a car on a highway. You do not see it coming. You only realize it has already passed, and now it is time to return to the animal everyone was waiting for from the beginning: cheetah. The cheetah is the most obvious answer to the speed question, and on land, in a pure sprint, it really is almost perfect. It can reach 100 to 110 kilometers per hour, and more importantly, it gets up to speed in just a few seconds. Its flexible spine works like a spring, its paws grip the ground, and its tail helps it turn. This is not just running, it is an explosion. But that is exactly why the cheetah tricks our perception. Its speed makes sense to us. We see the legs, the burst, the chase. What comes next does not run. It triggers. Springtail. A springtail is a tiny creature you could easily miss in soil, moss, or under your feet. But under its body is a furcula, a mechanism that works like a catapult. It stays locked under tension, and when danger appears, the latch releases it. The springtail shoots into the air. Some springtails experience acceleration in the dozens of Gs and can spin hundreds of times per second. For a human, that would not feel like a jump. It would feel like being fired from a catapult. But the springtail is only the entrance into the world of living mechanisms. The next insect does it with much more power. Froghopper. A froghopper looks like a tiny insect calmly sitting on a plant and drinking sap. But when it jumps, the numbers become almost absurd. Acceleration up to 5,400 meters per second squared, nearly 550 G. A human can black out at around 5 to 6 G. Fighter pilots train to handle about 9 G, and the froghopper just launches away. The secret is a latch and stored energy. The legs lock, the body charges up, and then everything releases at once. It is almost a crossbow, but alive. And next, speed moves from the legs into the jaws. Trap jaw ant. This ant opens its jaws almost 180 degrees, locks them in place, and waits. Then they snap shut in less than 1 millisecond. For comparison, a human blink takes about 100 to 150 milliseconds. But the wildest part is that these jaws are not only weapons. The ant can snap them against the ground and launch itself into the air, almost like pressing an emergency eject button. At this point, speed no longer feels like running or jumping. It is a spring, a latch, and a shot. But the next mechanism is even stranger. Click beetle. The click beetle looks almost funny, especially when it ends up on its back. It seems helpless. But then comes the click. No run-up, no legs, no wings. It bends its body, an internal mechanism slips out of place, and the beetle throws itself upward. Sometimes it jumps dozens of centimeters into the air, even though the beetle itself may be only a few millimeters or centimeters long. It looks like a hidden button. For a predator, it is a nasty surprise. The prey looked helpless, and then it vanished from the frame. But the final 2 record holders barely need to move the whole body. All they need is a pair of jaws. Snapjaw termite. A termite is one of the last animals you would expect to see next to the words, one of the fastest. It does not look fast, dangerous, or dramatic, but in some termites, the jaws snap so suddenly that a normal camera simply cannot catch the movement. Scientists need cameras shooting hundreds of thousands of frames per second. The jaws work like a microscopic trap. Energy builds up, tension is held, and then everything snaps like a mechanical discharge. It does not run faster than a cheetah or dive faster than a falcon. It makes one movement so fast that the brain almost does not process it as movement. And still, the final animal answers the original question even better. Dracula ant. The Dracula ant looks like an ordinary tiny insect. If you saw it in real life, you would probably just walk past it. But under a slow-motion camera, it becomes one of the fastest mechanisms in nature. Its jaws do not simply close, it presses them together, builds tension, and then one jaw slides across the other, like a finger snap, only thousands of times faster. This movement can go from 0 to 200 miles per hour, 15 millionths of a second. A cheetah runs beautifully, a falcon dives dramatically from the sky, but the strangest record may belong to a creature almost nobody would notice without a microscope. One tiny mechanism, one moment, one snap, faster than you can understand that it even started.